Hey my friends, welcome back to my channel, Film Loom, where entertainment is the #1 priority. Today I'm continuing the recap of Squid Game Season 2, Part 3. If you haven't seen the previous parts, you can find the links in the description. In the previous part, Ji-hyun and his team successfully passed the six-legged pentathlon, where they had to play 5 different mini-games. Meanwhile, Notu was reprimanded by the officer for interfering with their organ smuggling operation. There's no way anyone's going to find out about it, and even if they do, that's not my issue. Then what is it, huh? Back in the dorm, Thanos' minion is upset that so many players survived the game. Frustrated, he orders player 125, MSU, to count how many people made it. However, a girl on their team named Sei stands up for MSU, which irritates Thanos' minion. Hey, hold on, don't be an idiot. Why bother counting? Those masked guys will come in and tell us soon anyway. Just shut the hell up. Okay, stop it before things escalate. Thanos steps in. He struggles to remember his minion's name. You're both the same age, right, Namu? You're 97, Namu. Yeah, Namu. Weren't you born in 97? Yeah. Likely a side effect of his constant use of his Infinity Stones, Thanos prohibits his minion from ordering MSU around. Meanwhile, members of Ji-hyun's team bond and get to know each other better. Hyunwoo reveals that she needs the prize money to complete her transformation. There are still a few surgeries I'm waiting to get done. What type of surgery? Ah, that kind of surgery. The conversation is interrupted as Ji-hyun's team enters the dormitory. More of these assholes made it through. Most players except Ji-hyun are visibly disappointed that they managed to survive. Ji-hyun thanks the front man for helping him during the Dalgona game. Laughter. Meanwhile, all the soldiers return to their quarters. When Noel enters her room, a couple of soldiers storm in and begin beating her. At the same time, one of the superior staff members in the control center erases the camera footage. The soldiers rip off Noel's mask, mocking her appearance. That should be some kind of freak under the mask, but check out the face on her, huh? Despite her attempts to fight back, they overpower her, cutting her face and threatening to cut off her fingers if she continues interfering with their operations. Back in the dormitory, the staff announced the results of the second game. A total of 110 players were eliminated, bringing the total prize money to 21 billion won. Each remaining player would now receive almost 79 million won if the games were terminated. Despite the increased prize pool, many players remain disappointed by the amount. I'd get more if I let some stranger beat the hell out of me. The staff initiate another voting process. Before the voting, Ji-hyun invites her teammates to her home for dinner after the games. Confident that everyone will vote to terminate, she believes that her and her son's share of the prize money will be enough to pay off all Youngsik's debts and even open a small farm stand. Don't get any dumb ideas now. In Ji-hyun's team, everyone initially agrees to vote against continuing the games. Ji-hyun even promises to help each of his teammates financially once they leave this place. Team's decision. Manji surprisingly voted X, determined to protect his pregnant girlfriend. Ji-hyun confronts her son, telling him not to call her mom anymore. Youngsik admits he lied about his debts. He reveals that he owes 100 million won to an illegal casino and has been threatened with organ harvesting, his eyes, liver, and kidney, if he doesn't repay the money by next month. And I'd like to ask my Korean viewers, what's the situation with the organ market in your country? Is it really as bad as it's portrayed in the series? It seems like organ selling and harvesting are shown as disturbingly common in South Korea. Please share your thoughts in the comments. Now back to the story. Ji-hyun's anger fades into sadness. She tells Youngsik that she knows he'll be fine if she dies, but if he dies, she won't be able to go on. Later, the Marine drags Youngbae to join the team during their meal. Youngbae, feeling guilty for pressing O, tries to excuse himself. The front man reassures him that his vote wouldn't have changed the outcome. Relieved that his teammates aren't angry, Youngbae promises that they'll win the next game together. Juni-der, in the next game, I'll personally make sure you don't get. What if in the next game we have to kill each other to win? What then? Wouldn't be enough to repay the debt he owes to Thanos for his cryptocurrency losses. And who knows, you could take home the whole 45 billion. I get my money back, you're free to go, and you get your life again. So, in order for me to win all the prize money, you'd have to die. And why would I bother paying back a corpse? How do you memorize raps if you're so dense? Manji mocks Thanos, bringing up his infamous rap battle loss when he forgot his lyrics during the finale. Furious, Thanos is about to attack him, but the front man, Youngbae, and the Marine guy enter the bathroom, diffusing the situation and putting Thanos on edge. After Thanos leaves, the Marine guy offers Manji a place on their team if he's still having trouble with Thanos, but Manji declines. Before the lights go out, Ji-hun suggests his team sleep under their beds, explaining that players are allowed to kill each other between games, which adds more money to the prize pool. He also proposes they take turns keeping watch during the night. Meanwhile, Young-bae joins Ji-hun during the night watch. He apologizes for not helping Ji-hun 3 years ago when Ji-hun asked him for money to treat his sick mother. Curious, he asks Ji-hun why he returned to the games despite having all the prize money from before. Ji-hun explains that he came back to ensure everyone else could leave the games alive. To lighten the mood, Young-bae recounts a humorous story from their time together during a car factory strike when they fought to save their jobs. "You were lying there next to me, asleep, and suddenly you started talking. I'm so hungry, Mom. Give me some food. Please, Mom, help, I'm starving." He kept going, just bawling your eyes out in your sleep. "I started crying in my sleep, begging my mom for food, and that's the reason you didn't walk out." This fake story makes Ji-hun laugh, and for a brief moment, he feels like his old self again. The two talk and laugh, reminiscing about the good old days back in Seoul. The search team decides to split into 2 groups, each on separate boats, to expedite the search for the mysterious island. In the morning, the announcer wakes the players for the next game. Thanos and his minions swallow their Infinity Stones, making the game more entertaining for themselves. Saebyok warns her new friend, Min-soo, never to try those substances. She supports him. Back in the arena, organ smuggling guards mark a coffin for an eliminated but still alive player. This time, Noel doesn't intervene. Instead, she silently watches, secretly rooting for the father of the sick little girl. During the next round, as most players tremble in fear, Thanos and his minion dance on the spinning platform, high from their Infinity Stones. When the announcer calls out 4 players, many teams are forced to exclude one member to meet the new group size. The front man volunteers to leave his group, calmly stating he'll find someone to team up with. In stark contrast, Thanos brutally Sparta kicks one of his teammates out of the group. Hyunwoo's team chooses to leave the shaman behind, shocking and offending her. Through surveillance cameras, guards discover a room containing only 3 players, a number that doesn't match the rules. "It's okay. I don't think he noticed." Those players are promptly eliminated. When the players emerge from their chambers, Ji-hun's team breathes a sigh of relief upon reuniting with the frontman, alive and well. The shaman, however, has survived and shoots her former teammates a scornful glare for betraying her. In the next round, the announcer calls for groups of 3. Thanos orders Saebyok and Min-soo to play rock paper scissors to decide who will join him and his minion in a chamber. But the girl refuses to compete with her so-called friend. Instead, she proposes that they team up and find a third person together. She extends her hand to Min-soo, but he unexpectedly flashes scissors, as if playing rock paper scissors, symbolically choosing Thanos over her. Meanwhile, Young-sik and Ji-hun desperately search for a third teammate. Before they can find someone, 2 strong players drag Young-sik away, ignoring his pleas to stay with his mother. Ji-hun freezes in shock, unable to process her son's betrayal. In that moment, Ji-hun and the frontman pull Ji-hunja into their group and rush her into a chamber. Inside, the frontman gently asks Ji-hunja about her son, but she starts scolding him fiercely, defending Young-sik as the kindest person she knows. After this round, many players lose faith in those they once trusted. Young-sik feels guilty for leaving his mother behind, but she comforts him, assuring him everything is okay, even as he bursts into tears. In the following round, the frontman predicts that the next number will be 2. He reasons that with only 126 players left for 50 rooms, the game's rules require fewer rooms than groups. As soon as the announcer calls 2 players, the frontman grabs Young-bae, and they both sprint toward a room. Thanos grabs his minion, leaving MSU behind. Chaos erupts as pairs fight for the limited rooms. Young-bae is knocked down by another player, and the frontman rushes back to help him. In a desperate move, the frontman drags one player out of a room to free up space for himself and Young-bae. When the door closes, the frontman notices there's an extra player in the room. To avoid failing the round, he ruthlessly breaks the player's neck, leaving Young-bae stunned and horrified. After the game, the players return to the dormitory. Thanos and his minion compliment MSU on choosing them in the last round. They begin pressuring him to vote to continue the games, suggesting they play one more round to increase the prize. Meanwhile, Manji proposes to Junho that they start over once they get out. Instead of offering to help her with the child, he suggests using their winnings to pay off his debts. He assures her that afterward, he'll find something less risky to invest in. "Pay off your debts with your own damn money, 'cause I'm going to use mine to raise our child." What a loser. Observing their interaction, Thanos and meanwhile, Ji-hun's team discusses their odds of winning the next vote. Ji-hun suggests trying to persuade some of the O voters to change their minds, but the front man warns him it's too dangerous. Some of them, he explains, are willing to do anything for money. The suggestion infuriates Ji-hun. "What do you suggest?" Do we just keep our mouths shut and pray everyone over there changes their vote? The two begin to argue. They are interrupted when guards enter the dormitory and announce the updated prize total, 356 million won per player. Ji-hun's team speculates that the amount might be enough to sway some of the O voters to change their votes. Meanwhile, the searching squad launches a drone to expedite the search. The captain, unfamiliar with the technology, is fascinated by the machine and bombards the team with questions. It's a drone? A drone? Drone, ain't that something? When we used to go out, you always had to keep checking your binoculars, climb all those cliffs just to get a look at an island. The drone spots a hatch on one of the islands, and the team decides to land and investigate. Back in the dormitory, the voting process begins, with Ji-hun casting his vote first. To everyone's surprise, some of the O voters change their minds and press X. Thanos and his minion pressure MSU again, demanding he press O. O gang for the win. Let's go, MSU. Just one more game. He and I had a little chat earlier. One more game, right, dude? A billion and then we leave. Despite their intimidation, MSU votes to end the games. Youngbei grows uneasy, fearing the front man might vote O. He's about to reveal to Ji-hun what happened during the last game, where the front man killed another player to secure a win. I'm worried about young Il. However, the front man votes to end the games, causing the votes to split evenly. The guard announces that, according to the rules, the players must vote again the next morning. The guards leave the dormitory, giving the players the night to reconsider their decisions. That clear? Yes, sir. Back in the dormitory, players are served dinner. Like the previous season, they receive drinks in glass bottles before the inevitable fight. Ji-hun tries to ask Youngbei about what he was going to reveal about the front man, but Youngbei avoids the conversation. You know why? I thought for a second there you'd vote like the first time. I got so anxious when you went up, I couldn't watch anymore. Because earlier, Youngbei kept trying to tell us this weird story. Come on, eat your food. Aren't you hungry? The dormitory divides into two factions, the O gang and the X gang. The X's discuss ways to convince some O's to change their minds. Young-sik invites the O's to join their side, offering a delicious meal after the game's end. In response, the O's mock the X's, calling them chickens, which infuriates Dae-oh. In retaliation, Dae-oh shows his marine tattoo, but the O's laugh, accusing him of being a fake marine. Tensions escalate as the two gangs line up against each other, ready for a fight. It dawns on Ji-hun that the organizers are orchestrating a massacre, just like in the previous season. He notices a fork in his meal and realizes it could be used as a weapon in the impending chaos. Meanwhile, in the restroom, Thanos and his minion attempt to corner MSU to pressure him about the next vote. MSU locks himself in a toilet stall, trembling with fear. Thanos tries to convince him, claiming it's their destiny to press O. Manji intervenes, declaring it unfair to force players to change their minds. He shouts to the entire restroom, exposing Thanos and his minion for threatening an ex-gang member. Enraged, Thanos rallies his O gang for a fight. Hey, listen up, O gang. Thanos and his minion provoke Manji by making crude remarks about his pregnant girlfriend, pushing him over the edge. A fight breaks out, with tensions boiling over into chaos. Thanos scores a solid takedown, pinning Manji to the ground and choking him. In a desperate move, Manji stabs Thanos in the throat with his fork. Horrified, Manji crawls into a stall, trembling as he realizes he's just killed a man. During the fight, Thanos' minion grabs the cross containing the Infinity Stones and kills one of the ex-gang members outside the restroom. Armed guards eagerly wait, showing no intention of intervening as the players kill each other in the dormitory. The announcer begins calling out the numbers of the players eliminated in the restroom, player 268, player 299, player 331, and adds the corresponding cash to the piggy bank. The players in the dorm are shocked, unsure of what this means. What's going on? Ji-hun and the front man immediately realize what has just transpired. Moments later, the surviving players from the restroom storm back into the dorm. Thanos' minion tells his gang that the X-gang initiated the attack on them. The two factions begin arguing about who started the fight. Player 100 proposes recounting the remaining players to determine which team has the advantage for voting. After the recount, it's revealed that the O gang lost more members during the brawl. The X gang celebrates their newfound advantage, but Ji-hun grows uneasy, realizing a massacre will occur when the lights go out. Meanwhile, on the boat, the drone operator feels nauseous and steps out to feed the fish. While outside, he notices a light emanating from the cabin where their equipment is stored. As he approaches, he catches the captain tampering with the drone, realizing he's been caught red-handed. The captain stabs the drone operator and throws him into the sea. It turns out the captain is the mole. Hearing the commotion, Wu Jin goes out to check, but the captain calmly explains that he also heard a noise and found nothing suspicious, successfully deflecting suspicion. The captain convinces Wu Jin to go back to sleep. In the dormitory, Ji-hun gathers with his group. He warns them that the O gang will attack as soon as the lights go out. The frontman suggests they strike first, but Ji-hun refuses to play by the rules of this bloodbath. Instead, he proposes a different plan, to attack and get to the frontman, unaware that he's sitting right in front of him. There's a man in a black mask who's the head of the operation. If we can get to him, we finally can end this. Ji-hun devises a strategy to steal guns from the guards and fight back. His plan involves hiding under the beds during the chaos between the two factions. Young Bae questions the strategy, ready to sacrifice other players to achieve his goal. Hold on, if we do that, the rest of the X's won't have much of a chance without us there to help them fight. They'll be outnumbered. I know, but if we don't keep our heads down tonight, it's going to ruin our entire plan. So what you're saying is sacrifice a few for the good of the rest? The frontman notices a significant change in Ji-hun's character. The once principled man now seems willing to step over others for his mission. Struggling to hide his satisfaction, the frontman realizes Ji-hun is starting to change. 5 minutes before the lights go out, Thanos' minion swallows a couple of his infinity stones, preparing for the impending fight. Junho pleads with Manji to hide somewhere safe when the fighting begins and to stay away from the scuffle. When the lights go out, Ji-hun's group quietly crawls under their beds, remaining hidden as the O gang launches an attack on the X gang. Ji-hun's group patiently waits for the chaos to subside. MSU, trembling with fear, grabs a glass bottle and climbs onto the control center using the guard's mask. Ji-hun gains access to a corridor leading to their destination. They encounter 2 more guards whom they quickly eliminate. While searching the dead bodies, Ji-hun notices that the guards have extra ammo in their pockets. They have extra ammo in their pockets. The officer orders guards to secure the stairwell, preparing for the rebel players' next move. After a prolonged firefight, the group begins to run low on ammo. Ji-hun and Young Bae radio the rest of the team, informing them that the guards have extra ammo in their pockets and urging them to retrieve it. The frontman takes 2 players and heads out to assist Ji-hun and Young Bae, while Daeo volunteers to return to the dormitory to gather ammo from the dead guards. Out of bullets, Ji-hun risks his life by running into the line of fire to collect ammo while Young Bae provides cover. Ji-hun successfully retrieves several magazines and retreats back to their position. Meanwhile, Daeo storms into the dormitory. Our ammo ran out. It's in their pockets. I need you to help me. With Yunsik's help, Daeo collects ammo from the guard's pockets. However, as he steps outside, he hears the gunfire in the distance and freezes in fear. Hyunju radios him, asking what's wrong and reminding him that they're out of ammo. Where are the extra magazines? Are you on your way? Unable to overcome his fear, Daeo drops his walkie-talkie and retreats back into the dormitory. Hyunju decides to check on him. The front man and 2 other players eventually find Ji-hun. The front man tells Ji-hun he will attempt to find another way around the guards. Ji-hun hands him his last magazine. Are you sure, Ji-hun? It's okay, take it. They're coming. Although reluctant, the front man takes it and moves ahead. The front man successfully flanks the guards and orders the 2 players with him to attack. Just as they are about to eliminate the guards, the front man shoots both players in the back. He radios Ji-hun, falsely claiming they were ambushed and failed. Switching to the guards' frequency, he orders them to finish off the rebels. Let's wrap things up, and heads toward the control center. Hyunju storms into the dormitory and finds Daeo trembling in a corner. He begs for her forgiveness. Without hesitation, she grabs the magazines he collected and prepares to return to the group. However, more guards enter the dormitory as Hyunju prepares to open fire. Ji-hunja stops her. This seems a good way to die. Back in the hallway, only 3 players remain. 1, overcome by despair, commits suicide with his last bullet. Don't do it. The remaining 2 surrender, but the guards eliminate one of them. The sole survivor, the father of the sick daughter, is approached by Noel. Wait, please don't shoot. I have a sick daughter at home. She points her gun at his heart, but after hesitating, shoots him in a non-lethal spot. Ji-hun and Young Bae are also forced to surrender. The front man approaches them. Now wearing his gray uniform and mask, mocking Ji-hun, he asks if he enjoyed playing the hero. He points his pistol at Ji-hun and coldly tells him, now witness the consequences of your little game. The front man then shoots Young Bae in front of Ji-hun, forcing him to witness the horrifying act. Ji-hun collapses in grief, screaming as the front man walks away. With this, the second season of Squid Game concludes. Player 390 eliminated. If you enjoyed my recap and would like to see my analysis of this season or hear my thoughts on the next season, let me know in the comments. I'd love to create a special video for you with tons of hidden details you might have missed. I'll also share my theory about the series as a whole. Thank you for watching. See you next time.